Welcome to the BriteVibe podcast. At BriteVibe, we believe everyone deserves to be happy. But in today's world, everywhere you turn, there is division and negativity. At BriteVibe, we have created a global movement to bring 8 million people together who are inspired to live bright, live bold, and share bright vibes. Alone, it can be hard to change, but together we can change the world. Welcome to the BriteVibe podcast. Carla Royal, so happy to have you on the BriteVibe podcast today. Lovely to see you.
It's good to see you, Matt. I'm delighted to be here. Thank you.
We're going to talk about some deep stuff today. We're going to talk about what's going on in society. We're going to talk about leadership. We're going to talk about, business owners. We're going to talk about your interior world. We'll probably even lean a little bit into spirituality. But I just wanted to start the podcast with, a little bit of your thing of overcoming your own fear because of all the work you've done and because you've got all these degrees, you've got all these pedigrees, you've studied all, you are a professional. I mean, you work with professionals at a very high level that are high functioning. And a lot of times it looks like from some of your work, and you can certainly correct me, it looks a lot of times you're working with entrepreneurs that are going pretty fast. They're driving pretty hard and they're building companies that are, a lot of technology-based companies that are growing super fast. And so those are younger and older people, and they're having to adjust to a new reality almost daily.
Yeah.
And so you're helping them navigate that. Is that accurate, or is that a part of what you do?
I think you did your homework really well. Thank you for that. Most of my clients are entrepreneurs. Most of them are male, and most of them are young.
Mhm.
And by young, I mean between 30 and 45. I do see some women. I do see some older people, but most of my clients are young, and most of them are in these industries that they find their niche. And I mean, they just grow so fast, and it actually becomes incredibly overwhelming to them.
Mhm.
And that's where I come in. But yeah, so those are the people, and they have a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress.
Mhm.
They thought that the success was going to mean everything to them. And then they find that they actually have more problems than they did before they started. And that's when they come to my door. And that's basically who I help.
Yeah. And, I've been an entrepreneur for a long, long time and ridden the success train up and back down and
Yeah.
back up again. So I've done the entrepreneurial path and will
It's
continue.
not for the faint of heart.
It is not for the faint of heart. It's like, well, you mentioned in our pre-show something about spirituality. I was like, if you want to grow spiritually, open a business, start a business, run a
Yes.
business, because that will take you to your knees and you will beg God for lots of things
That's right.
during that process. It is, yeah, being an entrepreneur is a different track for sure. It's not for everybody. I wouldn't recommend it for everybody.
No.
But if you want to grow personally and spiritually, it is like the fast track to encountering all those type of things. So let's just start there if that works. So, because I did hear, this group of young men that you coach, and when I say young, in their 30s, but they had talked about their own journey of kind of being successful kind of struggling, sometimes for years, sometimes for a decade or more. And then all of a sudden, their technology business hits or their education business hits. And then they're making more money than they ever have before. And then there's not almost, there's like this pullback, or there's like from going through mine were longer cycles.
Mhm.
So it was more of a gradual thing for me. So it wasn't so shocking to my system, I guess, to say, it was built over decades versus over months. It sure seemed that there was this sense of identity crisis. Like when I failed at business here during, COVID and post-COVID, I had my own identity crisis because I was always considered myself successful. And then all of a sudden I wasn't successful in business. And so it was super, super hardest time of my life. By far, the hardest time of my life in every area of my life. So I guess how are you coaching them, or what are you seeing in these people? I guess in that space where they are, because yes, you would think, gosh, if you're financially successful, that should fix everything, right? I can pay all my
Right.
bills, I can do this, I can travel, but
Yeah.
that's not usually what there's a process of transforming or transcending something. What's going
Yeah.
on there with them?
Well, you just said something really important that I don't even know if you're aware you said, that shows that your maturity,
Mhm.
because you said, when I failed during, or when I failed in you said when I failed during COVID. I mean, when I failed in business, you made that distinction that a failure in business was not a failure of life in your life, life. You were able to see that nuance. And I think that one of the things I see repeatedly in my profession is that the people I work with often are so overly identified with their business that they think their business is them.
Mhm.
And that causes a tremendous amount of suffering. And so one of the things I do when I work with these clients is help them see that nuance and take a different perspective, because a lot of these guys, they don't even know who they are.
Mm.
I mean, and it's not like a problem they have. It's like a problem that we have as a
Right.
culture, I think, that we don't really know who we are anymore.
Mm.
And, so there's some deep work that has to be done to help them recognize that who they are, and that who they are regardless of what's happening out there, and that their business is a game. It's
Mm.
nothing more than a game, and it's a tough game. I mean, it's
Mhm.
a Olympic level game, and as we said, it's not for the faint of heart, and it's not for everybody. I think it takes a particular type of personality to enjoy this incredibly crazy ride of entrepreneurship. But it's helping them recognize that they are not their business. Their business is a game they play. And when they get that, and I mean, it's hard to get. It's hard to get when you spend so many hours and so much time and so
Mhm.
much of your blood, sweat, tears, energy, money, and everything to build this. It's like your baby.
Mhm.
So, I get it that it's really, really hard. And it's not to say that my clients, that once they get this, that they don't fall into that from time to time. It's just that they can find their way back more quickly and more easily, and it not be quite as devastating as it was once.
What on earth why did you ever wanna help people, I guess, in this space?
I didn't. I mean, it's not that I didn't. It's literally, it never occurred to me.
Right.
It never occurred to me to work with male entrepreneurs. And again,
Uh-huh.
I do have some female
Yep.
clients whom
Clients,
I
good.
love, but the majority are male. And I didn't it I didn't plan it. What happened was a young entrepreneur came to me who was in trouble, and he was having a very bad time, and we worked together. He got some very fast relief. He stayed with me for a couple of years. He went deep, transformative work.
Mhm.
And he just started sending all his, all these entrepreneurs are connected out there. And so anytime a friend was struggling, an entrepreneurial friend was struggling, he sent them to me.
Right.
And all of a sudden, just my practice became these guys, and I love them. I mean, there's
Mhm.
a way in which I'm so much older than most of them are. There's a way I have a little bit of motherly
Mhm.
instinct, I think, that comes on board, which is nice, and
Mhm.
and I just love them. I just want them to succeed and be fulfilled,
Mhm.
and the 2 don't always go hand in hand.
Right.
And I want them to understand the difference, and that success is far, far, far more than money. I want them to have the money they want and what they want, but I want them to have something much deeper and richer than that also, because the money without that is just empty and superficial and unfulfilling, and you just start to feel like a ghost. So I want to help them, learn how to manage the stress and ease some of the stress. Some stress is good,
Mhm.
research shows that we need some stress.
Right.
So it's not like we're going to eliminate all stress, but we do want to eliminate that suffering kind of stress, and help them understand who they really are, and that they are not their business, and that there's this life force coursing through them just like all of nature, and that there's more to life than the money.
I saw a quote, and I won't get it 100% right, from Jim Carrey that said he wished everybody could be rich and famous so they could figure out that that's not the answer to happiness. I mean,
It's
well,
not.
he said it's not the answer to happiness because I think there is that. And of course, that's been in me, and I am that growing up in the culture, growing up in the environment that we're in right now, where yeah, so much of it was, I will be happy when I get rich.
Yes,
I will
that's
be
right.
happy when I get married. I will be happy when I have, whatever the thing is, but meaning I'm never going to be happy today, fully happy, because it's always predicated on some future event. Even in the last day or two, I've really been looking at human beings are creatures of emotion. We're always chasing this thing of emotion. Everything that we do, and this is my opinion, and you can tell me I'm wrong. Everything I do and everything I notice others doing is to get a feeling.
Mm.
There's
Mhm.
some emotion or some feeling that we're trying to get to, right? Even with my move, and our family moved to Asheville, North Carolina, I'm pursuing something that I want to feel in the future, right? Something I want to feel more grounded. I want to feel more peaceful. I want to feel more connected. Whatever that is, I'm chasing feelings. I'm coming to the point where I'm stopping enough and saying, so what am I running from? What's the escape? If I have to go feel something else, what's the feeling that I'm trying to avoid? Because if I'm running to some other feeling, it means I don't like the feelings I'm having currently. But am I dealing with those feelings?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think many, many people are running from I think you're absolutely right, from something, even more so than to something.
Right.
They wanna get away from something, and they're looking in the wrong place. We're looking outside of ourselves to find that feeling of happiness or contentment or peace or whatever, when the truth is that's within ourselves. We don't look there. Many, many people don't look there. They look everywhere but there. They look to success or money or religion or, I mean, you name it. I mean, the right partner, the right spouse, the right friends, the right food, whatever it is, the right car. And it's just not to be found outside of us. And the problem is we've just got so much stuff piled on us, so many beliefs and stories and cultural demands and expectations and all kinds of things. And really the work I feel like the work I do is more like an excavation, more like an archaeological dig. Like who you are at your essence is always there. It's never not there. Your resilience is always there. Your wisdom is always there. Your peace is always there. It's just that there's so much stuff attached on top of you that you can't access it. You can't feel it. And so the work really is about not adding more, but taking off things.
If you only had one message to give to all 8 billion other people, one kind of crystallized, singleized message that you would think this would have the greatest impact if people would just get this, or people would understand this, or people would hear this, what message would that be?
Connection is about connecting to other people. It's about connecting to the world around you, including nature, and it's about connecting to yourself.
Perfect. Well, Carla, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I look forward to connecting with you when I get there into Asheville.
I look
Um,
forward to it too.
Thank you for the work you're doing. And your website's carlaroyal.com, right?
Yes,
Very easy with a C, Carla, royal.com. And so, yeah, if any of this has spoke to you, you actually book appointments with people just to come on and visit for an hour to see if you can help them, see if it's the
yeah,
right fit. So there's no
yeah,
obligation. I really appreciate you
yeah.
uh,
Free call.
free call and doing that. So yeah, if this has resonated with you at all, I'm sure Carla would love to visit with you.
I would. I would. I appreciate you, Matt, and the work that you're doing out there in this podcast. I've listened to several of the episodes. You're doing a
Oh,
great job. Thank you.
well, thank you. I really appreciate that.